Welcome to the Daily Jerry Anderson podcast. I talked to the greatest man this morning before you came in. You may have been still in your bed. He's a falconer, and he lost a female sparrowhawk. But he told me great things. And I said to him, come on the programme and tell me all the things you're telling me. But he wouldn't, because he said he was shy. And I understand it. This man has genuinely lost a female sparrowhawk. And he was telling me about it. He said, this is a very unusual hawk, he says. A sparrowhawk. He said, it's imprinted.
No.
Do you know what that means?
No.
Well, no, neither did I.
No, I don't know what it was.
And he said, it's imprinted to me, to its owner. I said, what does that mean? It said, it thinks that I'm its father.
Ah.
And also he said, the very interesting thing, he said, when it gets older and wants to breed, it'll want to breed with me. I said, how do you do that? He said, artificial insomnia.
Right.
So he's going to use artificial insomnia, and the bird won't let anybody near him except him. It's kind of like, our wives.
Right, yeah. Lovely. You're in trouble again. Yes.
Imagine having a cat, that thought you was its father and that wanted to have sex with you. What would you do? You'd have to kick it away with your leg.
How can people stop it? How can people help that man?
Well, I'm coming to that. No, it disappeared from the Harbour Road in Knockcree Avenue in Kilkeel. It disappeared. It looks like it's kind of brownish.
Was I ever in Kilkeel?
Yes, I do believe you were.
Was I?
A man once got me up against a wall in Kilkeel. In a pub.
In a pub, I remember.
And he said, there's a pub, there's a pier there.
I don't think I was ever in it.
I don't think you went there that time anyway. No. There's a pier there, and there's a kind of a pub down near the pier. It's a fisherman's pub. And I was brought in there. And I'm standing there, and this fella comes up to me and he says, I can't do a Kilkeel accent, I can't remember what it was. He says, you're from the BBC, are you? I said, as a matter of fact, I am. He said, well, what's wrong with them people? Mm-hmm. I says, I don't know what's wrong with them. There's not much wrong with them. They employ me, that's all right. He said, they don't give the weather forecast when you want it. I said, what do you mean? He says, I don't want the weather forecast at 9 o'clock in the morning. I need it at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm out in the boat. And he got me up against the wall. No, really. He got a drink taken. I said, will you do that with the boat? Will you do something about it? I said, calm down, I said. Calm down, I said. I said, what you're talking about here is a shipping forecast. He said, yeah, weather forecast. I said, no, shipping forecast. He said, I said, you can get that on Radio 4. He said, it's not relevant. He said, why don't you give me that? He didn't say relevant.
No.
Didn't say relevant.
But that's at 12 o'clock every day, doesn't it?
Well, he didn't know. He wanted that another time.
But
I can't remember the bones of his argument.
I mean, if you get it at 12.
No, but he wanted it. He said it's the wrong time. Whatever it is, maybe he wants it at 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever. I don't know when he wants it. Do you think I was listening to him? All I could see was his fist in front of my face. Relevant. That reminds me. Do you know what that reminds me of? Do you remember that film, The Boxer? Did I ever tell you the story about that? It's not a story, but it's about the greatest...
What's The Boxer about?
Boxing. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, it's not Sylvester Stallone?
No, Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis became a boxer, a real boxer, and Barry McGuigan trained him for the movie.
I'm a boxing fan. I don't watch boxing films.
That's okay. I didn't ask if you watched the boxing films.
Because they can't do it.
No, they can't do it. No, but Daniel Day-Lewis could do it because Barry trained him, and Barry said that if he had worked harder, he could have become a professional boxer.
Barry would say that.
He used to do a great Barry. Remember, he used to do Barry.
I was listening to Barry yesterday.
He's changed now.
He's all changed.
Remember, he used to talk like that. He doesn't do that anymore.
No,
well, what did he used to talk like? Can you remember?
I'd like to take this opportunity now to thank Mr. Eastwood. Remember us all that. I'd like to thank Jerry Anderson. And he thanked everybody, didn't he?
And Sandra and Blaine.
And I'd like to thank everybody for coming to the fight. I really appreciate it.
He was good then.
He was good then.
Can't do another bit.
He was hungry. He was hungry then, wasn't he?
Can't do another bit. I like that.
I really appreciate the support I get from both sides of the community.
Protestants and
Catholic.
I'm going to tell you something now. My mother, for a great period of her life, after she was 60, and she lived until she was 97, for 30 or 40 years she lived in mortal terror of roosters. Do you know why?
No.
Because her mother before her, my granny, had been pecked by a rooster on the back of her leg, and she never got rid of it, and it became poisoned, and it eventually actually more or less killed her.
Is that right?
Yes, killed by a rooster. But, it took a long time. It became septic and, infected, that kind of thing. At that time, people didn't have the kind of medical care that we have available now, But that didn't. So my mother was terrified. That's why there's a fear in me of roosters. Even though I'm a bit of a one myself.
Geese.
I've got another...
Geese, Janice, how do you feel about geese?
Geese?
Geese are cheeky boys.
I'll tell you what. You know what you should be very afraid of? Swans.
Ach, never.
I'm telling you
Not
something
at
now.
all.
I know swans.
Not
Swans,
at all.
swans come up to my door. Down where I live down beside the water, There was a colony of swans down there. It's very much reduced now. There's 2 of them down there at the moment. They live around the bend of the river.
Is it a colony?
Whatever you call them.
I don't think it's a colony.
I like the sound of it.
I like the
Colony
sound
of
of it, but it's not a
swans.
colony.
Well, it
of
is a
swans.
colony as such. It's a...
Janice, it's a flock.
All right. It's
No,
not a
it's
flock.
not. It's not.
A flock of swans. Wise up.
No,
it's not.
It's
You're
not.
just guessing and trying to be smart. You finished reading the paper now, are you? You must have read that in the paper, did you? Anyway, no, it's not. It's a colony, meaning a
Like
collection.
a family.
Yes, a colony. In other words, there's a bunch. Actually, you can see the swan's
Bunch of
nest
swans.
when you go up the River Foyle in a boat. You see, there's great passages of the River Foyle where the banks are uninhabited. There's nothing on the bank. They're wild. Do you realise that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just checking that you realise that. I mean, it's not as if there's people living along.
No.
them. There's parts that are really wide, inaccessible parts, and that's where the swans live. The swans have nests. You can see them. But for some reason, some of them were, scumbags went down after them a couple of times, and I think they scared them off. But there's only 2 of them there now. But there was a time there was about 6 or 8 of them. Now, they used to come up the river, and there was a woman who used to live round the corner from me, and that's where the little Culmore Lighthouse is, and the old O'Doherty Fort, O'Dochra's Fort, very historic area.
Yes.
And there's lovely little fishermen's cottages around the side, anyone who's been down there. And there's a lady who lived in one of the fishermen's cottages, used to feed the swans. She used to go out every morning at a certain time and give them bread. And one morning she didn't come out, and they came up and knocked on her door.
Isn't that great? That doesn't mean they're cheeky.
No, but what happens is, if you approach a swan and it's eating or something like that, and or it's got a little one with it, it'll go for you.
How do you know?
I've seen them doing it.
No, you haven't.
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't.
How do you know I haven't?
I know you haven't, because you haven't been down at that time of the morning. You've never been down.
Oh, do you think they only go for you in the morning?
No, but you haven't.
They are there all day. All day. You don't get near a swan. Swans have big feet. Do you ever see those feet they have? They go for you.
They do. If you would leave
a swan could break your leg. A swan could break. They're very, very strong.
I'm not denying that, but I think if you leave a swan alone, the swan will just go gracefully about its business.
What did I just say? If you annoy them when they're eating or when they're with their young, they'll go for you. Isn't that
Well,
what I just
any
said?
mother would do the same.
Not my mother would never have attacked anybody if she'd been with me. So we often went to Portrush. She never attacked anybody. Her and I'd be in Barry's, and she'd never attack anybody because they came near me. You're afraid of cats.
Yeah, I'm afraid of cats.
I know, but why? How did you ever become afraid of cats?
A cat bit me.
You see. Thank you.
Now, there you are. A cat bit me in the back of the hand.
Was it a serious bite? Or just a bit of a...
It was
I can't hear you at all, Mama.
Sorry about that. Did it break the skin, this cat?
Yes.
Was there blood?
It was my fault.
What did you do?
Because, well, I was petting the cat.
Yes, that's an affectionate thing to do.
Yes, but I even then, I think, before the bite, I was afraid of cats.
This fear may
This
have transmitted
compounded.
itself to the feline.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
It was. I don't blame the cat. I blame me,
This
because
is
when I
just-
was petting the cat, and I was in this house, and there was an old lady who owned the cat, and she's, "Oh, look, the cat loves you. Pet the cat." And I didn't want to pet the cat. She said, "Go on, pet the cat," and I was going, "Pet, pet, pet."
Now, Janet enjoyed that.
Hanging on to the back of my hand.
Oh, did it hang on?
Going,
Did it was hanging off your hand?
shake, shaky, shaky.
Ah, you had to shake it off.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You see?
Shake off a cat.
Hey, you see? And then the old lady said to him, she says, "Ach, what did you do to the cat, son?"
What's that cat doing hanging off your hand? What did you do to it?
Aye.
Anyway,